I thought you were out of town.
I lied.
Why?
The reason's pretty obvious, Sister Maggie. Who is he?
You've been drinking.
I had good reason. Who is he?
I was going to tell you about him.
Tell me.
Not when you're like this.
I'm always like this about you. Tell me.
Please, not now.
Now.
Where has all the gentle gone? Chris! You set the ground rules, Chris. Remember? No ring, no long run.
Maggie! Maggie, baby. Baby. Maggie, I didn't mean to do that, I swear, Maggie. Maggie. Maggie! Baby.
Body is that of an adult Caucasian female weighing approximately 120 pounds, measuring 65 1/2 inches. The hair is blonde, the eyes are blue, the ears, nose, and mouth are essentially unremarkable except for a small unrepaired cavity in the left incisor.
Has to be another way for the day to begin.
There is edema of the occipital region and a depressed fracture measuring approximately 5 centimeters at greatest diameter. It is my opinion that the wound of the skull produced such extensive brain damage as to preclude the possibility of the deceased surviving the injury. Time lapse since death, conceding the cooling rate of the body to be approximately 1 degree per hour, and taking into account surrounding temperature and moisture, 12 hours.
She was dead before she hit the water.
But how long in the bay?
Well, the tidal currents flow about 6 hours in one direction and about the same in the opposite direction. Now, what time you say she was found?
Just before 6 this morning.
And right about here.
Yes.
There. Currents are running seaward then. If the body hadn't been recovered when it was, she'd have gone right through the gate.
Well, if she was dumped from a boat, where would it have been, Captain? Can you make a guess?
Well, I can do better than that. Now, here's a chart prepared by the hydrographic offices of the U.S. government. It graphs the surface conditions of the waters here. Now, found when she was in these latitudes, she had to be drifting seaward on the outgoing tide. Now, the span of time measured by the speed of the water and the wind currents would indicate that she had to be right about there.
That's land.
That's right. Belvedere.
Well, I'll get right on it.
Wild, huh? Isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Man, comes night, you know what you can do? You can freak out in the stars. It's really glorious. Not the moon, though. They're polluting the moon, you know?
But yesterday you weren't looking at anything, huh?
No, just leather. I mean, it's my life's work. I neglect it. I'm a hungry child.
Yeah. You ever seen her?
That's a lot of girl.
Yeah.
No, I never saw her, not until just this minute. Why, who is she?
Maggie Ames.
Oh. Oh, what is it, a missing person or something?
Dead. She's dead.
Oh. Oh, wow. That's a lost child, you know? Hey, I'm sorry I can't help you out unless you could use some custom-made shoes or something like that. You guys use a lot of shoe leather,
No,
don't you?
I don't think so. Thank you anyway.
It couldn't hurt. I'll do it cheap.
Yeah. Maybe another time.
Maggie was an exciting, vibrant girl. Cliché or no, she lit up the place where she was. Maggie did a column for us, Profiles in Depth, on the illustrious, the anonymous.
Well, what was the last thing she wrote?
A piece on ACT, the theater group. She picked her own assignments, did what interested her.
Well, what would interest her about a theater group?
Creativity. Creativity interested her. She spent more time on that column than she had on all the others.
You know why?
No. No, I don't. Maggie placed a high value on her privacy. Not many people dare to intrude upon that.
How did she live, Mr. Martin? I mean, habits, friends, lifestyle. Did she live alone with someone?
Oh. Alone, I assume. I never asked her, and we never discussed it. I didn't know her friends. I certainly have no idea why anyone would want to kill her. Tomorrow's news is screaming for attention, Mr. Stone. Today's is a whisper from the dead and the buried.
Mr. Martin, thank you for your time. Well, isn't there somebody there I can talk to about it? I just want to find out when the rehearsal starts. All right, I'll wait. Yeah, I'm still here. Uh-huh. What is it? 4 o'clock. And what's the name again? William Ball. Thank you very much. No. No messages.
Belvedere.
What?
Happened in Belvedere.
How do you come by that?
They found her in the bay, didn't they? She had a beach house over there.
And what else do you know?
Wait a second. You're supposed to be the homicide heavyweight. You give me the facts, remember? I just put them on paper.
How well did you know her, Ace?
She put out a column. I put out a column.
That's all.
Give or take an occasional lunch offer from an old man she was too busy for.
How about this beach house?
No, it's at the foot of the hills, right on the water.
She told you about it?
No, a gal at the office owned it. Rented it to Maggie when she moved out of Arizona.
412 Bay Views. Hey, thanks, Ace.
Nothing in life is free, Mike.
Oh, I thought we touched that base before. Remember, no exclusives.
Just a promise.
Yeah.
Get him.
That almost sounds more personal than just a lunch date or two not taken up on.
I take it personally every time a Maggie Ames gets chopped down. Mike, how much good is there left in this world, and how many people are there trying to help what little there is left? You pull Maggie's columns, any one of them. See how she looked at life, at people. Everything she wrote had a smile. Blue skies and whitecaps, summer storms and rainbows, snowflakes and holly. I ain't killed her, scrubbed all that. In one stupid, mindless, self-centered moment, he took something rare and left it like that.
Well, it's still just an investigation, Ace. Nothing says murder.
28 years on the desk says murder to me, Mike. And if you can't prove it, I will.
You got something?
Yeah, looks like an errand list or something. Market, laundry, drugstore, gas station.
Sounds pretty flimsy.
What did you come up with?
Look, the next time a Marin County sheriff tells us we won't find anything, I'm gonna believe that man. This house has got the worst vibes, you know? So cold. So impersonal.
Maybe she lit it up. Like her editor said, she lit up the room wherever she was. Hello?
What have you got?
Chris?
You got nothing, right?
Your press passed by you insult rights.
It buys more than your badge, it seems.
Like?
Like 2 kids in a skiff yesterday evening off Belvedere.
You telling me somebody saw what happened?
Same as. They saw a speedboat heading into the beach with a boy and a girl. A blonde girl. A few minutes later, they saw the same boat blasting back across the bay without the girl.
Did you get a description of the guy?
My 2 16, 17-year-old red-blooded American boys, they can describe the girl. They can describe the boat. The girl was Maggie. Boat was a 22-foot custom inboard. White with blue lightning bolts down each side of the bow.
Thanks, Ace.
Mike, we get that boat, we get the killer. I'm checking marinas now.
We?
Okay, I'll do it myself. You go back to shaking doorknobs.
Chris! Crazy ink-fingered fireball.
What's happened?
Well, he may have broken the case wide open.
Well, what are we looking for?
Lightning bolts.
Lightning bolts.
Yes, of course, I know it well. Thoroughbred. Privileged to berth her.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. This is the 8th yacht harbor we've been to today.
Who owns her?
Young fellow named Roland Claridge.
You know if he took it out yesterday?
I must enlighten you. Members here use their vessels at their own whim and will.
Well, do you happen to know whether he had the whim yesterday?
No, sir, I do not. That is an intrusion we cannot condone. But this must be the boat you described to me. The only one of its kind on the bay, to my knowledge. Little Thoroughbred.
Well, we may have to keep this Thoroughbred in the barn for a while.
I beg your pardon?
Impound, police impound.
Impound?
Yes, sir.
Well, the other chap never mentioned that.
Other chap?
Yes. Before you, asking the same questions. Newspaper fellow.
Chris Bain.
I was about to tell you his name. Chris Bain. He writes a newspaper column, Deadline.
Deadline. Maybe we're going to have to start reading that column.
Yes, Lieutenant, we've been expecting you. He said that you'd be along shortly.
He? That wouldn't by any chance be a gentleman named Chris Bain?
Scarcely a gentleman. His interrogation of my son was indefensible. I had him shown out.
Score one for our side.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing, Mrs. Claridge. I take it then you know why we're here.
Oh, I should have sold that boat years ago. Cost a fortune. And Roland uses it semi-annually. Oh, this is my son, Roland.
Lieutenant Stone.
I'm Inspector Keller. Did you by any chance use the boat yesterday, Mr. Claridge?
No, he was not using his boat yesterday.
Where were you between 4:30 and 5 o'clock?
He was here at home with me.
Can anyone else attest to that, like Roland here, for instance? How about it, Roland?
I was at home yesterday.
Your boat was out.
Yeah, but I wasn't operating it.
Well, do you know who was?
Do I have to answer that?
Certainly not. You don't have to answer anything.
Just that I'd rather not involve anybody else until I understand exactly what this is all about.
Well, I'm sure that Chris Bain must have told you.
He said murder.
Who is this somebody else that you're worried about?
I can't believe he'd do a thing like that.
Well, then he won't be afraid to answer a few questions, will he?
His name is Peter. Peter Anthony.
He was using it yesterday.
All day.
Where can we find him?
No. I have no idea where he lives.
But Roland, how do you know anybody like that?
We study together.
You go to school?
My son studies theater at the ACT workshop.
Was as false as water.
Devil.
She was a liar, gone to burning hell.
Very good, very good. John, allow the tension to build just a little bit longer before you pull the trigger. And we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we'll start from the top of the scene.
He's really good, your fellow.
Huh, you recognized it.
Sure, I liked it. What part does Peter Anthony play?
Cassio.
When does he come on?
I don't rehearse with him again till tomorrow.
Tomorrow? You happen to know where we can find him today?
Afraid not.
Well, what about your office? Would they have his phone number or address?
Well, not for Peter.
Well, why's that?
Well, personal reasons. His parents objected pretty strongly to his becoming an actor. It's a pity, too, because he's very gifted and he could use their support.
Well, what time's the rehearsal tomorrow?
I'm working with Desdemona till 11, and I'll begin with Peter then.
Great. Thank you very much.
Say, there's one more thing, please, Mr. Ball. There's a young woman reporter working on a column about your theater, Maggie Ames.
Oh, I heard about her death. Is that what you're investigating?
Yes. We were wondering if she focused her interviews on anyone in particular.
Well...
Peter Anthony?
Peter? Oh, if you're assuming that Peter had anything to do with that young woman's death, that's pretty poor casting. Peter's very sensitive, but he's also very self-controlled. He's well-focused, clear-headed.
I guess you could say the same thing about Othello. Couldn't you, Mr. Ball?
Checking the box score?
Yeah, if Chris knows anything about this Anthony kid, that'll make it a shutout, won't it?
Yeah. Old ink fingers through the fuzz zip. It was kind of tough to get a jump on this guy.
Yeah, he always was that way.
Well, how long you really known him?
Oh, we go back a long way. Way back. Yeah, my first day in homicide, my first case. Me and old McIntyre, we went... You remember, Matt? No, it was before your time. Well, we got out there like a shot. And there was this reject from a college paper walking all over the clues.
So what did you do?
Same thing I've had to do 100 times since. Tell them to keep out of the way. But no matter where you turn around, why, you'd always trip over him.
One-man traffic jam, huh?
Yeah. He turned out to be a good reporter, though. Many times he'd come up with leads that, well, the whole department couldn't find.
Sounds like he'd be a great cop.
Except for one thing. Small item about drinking on duty.
You have a problem?
No. He just drinks as hard as he works.
Mister, is there anything in this column about the case?
No, he's taken on legalized gambling today.
That's funny.
What?
Well, he's just so involved. You think he'd have something about the case?
Well, he may have written it before. Maybe one of a series, and it's got to continue. Come on, let's get back to the office. I want to find out what they know about Peter Anthony.
That you, Dad?
Hey, Greg, how are you, son? How long you been here?
I got here a little while ago. Making coffee. You want some?
I think I could use it. Yeah, coffee. That's a great idea. Fine.
You've been working on that Maggie Ames story.
Yeah. How is your work going?
Nothing's changed. I don't think it's about to either, Dad.
Yeah, you hang in there, Greg. Aerospace is important. Laces, galaxies, black holes. We've talked about all that before, haven't we?
Yeah. We've been through it.
Hey, man, that coffee smells good. Thank you, Greg. You know, I haven't seen you for days, and I treat you like wallpaper. How are you? How have you been? What have you been doing with yourself? You need a buck? You need some fatherly advice from an absentee father?
Something like that. I tried to see you at the paper, but you'd gone.
Okay, Greg, shoot. What's on your mind?
It's all right. You look beat. We'll make it some other time.
Now, Greg, don't go.
You gotta get some sleep, Dad.
I need...
What, Dad?
Well, we all need, I guess, Greg. Someone you can cut your heart open to, our tired old hearts.
Oh, come on. You've got the heart of a lion.
Yeah, that's me. Old lion-hearted king of the jungle. King of the jungle with a pride of lionesses to... No, not a pride, just one. Sleek, lithe, young, with a glow about her that set men's hearts aglow.
I don't follow you, Dad. Are you seeing somebody special now?
No. Not anymore. Not ever again.
Why not?
She's dead.
Dead?
Killed.
Who was she, Dad?
That girl you asked about a few minutes ago, Maggie Ames.
I didn't know.
Greg, not too many people did. I made her keep it that way. I didn't want her to be laughed at. I didn't want people saying what they could if they knew she was seeing a man old enough to be a father. Didn't matter how many times she told me. The only thing that mattered was my love. I pretended to believe her, but I knew better. I knew the day would come when she'd be able to see what anyone could see. That day finally came.
She was killed.
Yeah, she was killed. Then I'm gonna find the man who took her away from me, the man who made love to her, the man who made her die. I'm gonna find him.
I see, right. So that if he actually hadn't been paid for performance, you wouldn't have to join your guild, is that right? Right. Okay, well, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Right.
What did you get from the Actors Guild?
Nothing, just that he's a student, doesn't have to join the guild unless he gets paid. And I can't find anything like a diary or daily calendar.
Same in her bedroom. Well, maybe she left her life at the office.
If she had one. Judging by this, I don't know. Want to pack it in?
Yeah. And you can read this on your own time.
Beautiful handwriting. Yeah. Good looks. Good taste. I don't know.
And everything she wrote had a smile.
Identity. Revelation. T.A. Day with P.A. Day.
telegraph. Yeah, sure, Mr. Bain. I'll get it right away. Hold on. I've got it right here in front of me, Mr. Bain. Maggie Ames' last column, ACT.
Read what it says about Peter Anthony.
Among the supporting cast were Peter Anthony and Marilyn Lee, both promising newcomers. Then there's some other names.
Now, that's it? That's all it says about Peter Anthony?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? You sure you haven't skipped something?
No, sir. Among the supporting cast were Peter Anthony, Marilyn Lee, both promising newcomers.
See the picture? The face? I finally put it all together, Mr. Bain. And it's spelled, Deadline.
Who are you?
Me? Oh, I'm just a dude with a telescope on a dock by the beach in Belvedere.
You talk to the police?
Me? No. I just wanted to wait and rap with you, Mr. Bain, that's all.
Your lead?
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Bain. Who was it wrote, Silence is Golden? Huh? Anyhow, that's not what I'm selling. I'll tell you what I am selling. I'm selling a very special, unique, heavy brand of silence. And this brand of silence just happens to come, as you might have guessed, in, golden.
Still your lead.
Right. How much golden? Let's see, say 5 long ones a week. How's that?
No.
Hey, man, come on, hold on, man. All I have to do is pick up...
300.
Yeah?
Can only give you 2 right now. You'll have the other 100 by noon tomorrow. Payment date hereafter will be on Saturday.
Saturday's great. That's great.
And no meetings. Money will be deposited in the post office box. 10s, 20s, okay?
Okay, sure. That's great.
All right. Let's get on with it. Let's get it over with. You know, I got a boy just about your age. Fine boy. He's bright. He listens, he reads, he thinks. But he has to break his behind to make it. Not at all like you, Roger. Not poised, not cool. You've got it all together.
Right.
At such an early age. Well, here we are.
Okay, let's get it. Come on.
Roger!
What? Hey, man, what is it with this thing? What is this, huh? Hey, what...
What's this, Maggie Ames's print were on Claridge's boat?
Yeah, and somebody else's.
Who, Anthony?
If that's his name.
Wait a minute, what do you mean?
There's no record of a Peter Anthony working anywhere in this city. No criminal record, no school record, no nothing.
You did your homework last night, didn't you? An alias, huh?
What else? A guy studying to be an actor? Stage name, right?
Better check the theater again.
I did. He joined the group as Peter Anthony, period.
That's right. Ball said he was having trouble with his parents about being an actor.
And now he's in bigger trouble.
Mike! I found him. I told you to read Maggie's columns. His name's Peter Anthony. It was written all over them.
Hold it. Take it easy. What are you talking about?
The killer, his name is Peter Anthony. Here's a work draft of the last column she wrote. Read the part I have underlined.
I haven't got my glasses. Read.
Among them, Peter Anthony, a very talented, very sensitive, very attractive young man. There's a gentleness in him and the strong undercurrents of virility, a rare combination. It's quite a review.
Now, here's the column that was actually printed. Come on, read it.
Among the supporting cast were Peter Anthony and Marilyn Lee, both promising newcomers. Period.
That's all?
Yeah.
That's all. A passing reference to a guy she couldn't say enough about in the original work draft. Doesn't that ice it for you?
Ace, how many times have you told me that newspapers have editors who cut your heart out?
Nobody touched Maggie's column but her. It was written in a contract. This figures only one way. She was in love with this fella, Peter Anthony. She was trying to hide it.
Wait a minute. How do you get from a review to love?
A calendar. You saw it, didn't you?
No. How did you?
I went to her apartment.
How'd you get in?
The manager. Turns out he was a fan. He reads my column before he reads the funnies every morning. Why, I thought you would have seen the entries in the calendar. Dinner with Peter Anthony, supper, breakfast, and the last item, March 8th, a day with P.A. March 8th, that was the day she was murdered. Told you I'd find him for you, Mike. Now you bring him in.
We've been looking for him, Ace.
You knew?
Uh-huh. Just a suspect. Got his name from the guy who owned the boat.
A suspect? If you can't make this stick, you're in the wrong line of work, both of you.
Oh, come on, Ace. We'll move in on him.
Mike, thought you ought to know. Radio unit just called in. They found a man in an alley, dead of a bullet wound.
Give it to Hasidian, will you?
I think you want this one, Mike. They said he had a medallion in his hand. Had a name engraved on the back. Peter Anthony.
St. Genesius, actor's patron saint. Must have been torn off the assailant.
How long has he been dead?
6 or 7 hours. I know him, Mike. He's the guy in Belvedere with the telescope. And Act 4 is a coffee house. Hangout for actors. ACT is a block away.
Hey, Peter. A couple of dudes out here to see you, with badges.
They ask for me?
If you've got a stash, man, you better flush it.
Let's go. For what?
Suspicion of murder.
No, I didn't kill her.
We're talking about a man shot to death in an alley. He had a medal in his hand. It was yours. Then there was the boat you used the same day Maggie Ames was killed. We'll talk about that, too. Downtown. Come on.
Hey, look. You don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do it. I didn't kill anyone.
Why did you run then, huh?
I don't have to say anything. Tell you anything. Do I, Dad?
Pretty heavy. Break your back to convict someone, turns out to be your own son.
So that's the way you met. That's where you
That's
two...
where we met. Period. She watched the rehearsal. Then she came back.
I don't want to hear any more of it.
You're going to hear. You're going to hear the way it was, not the way you think it was. I didn't know, Dad. I didn't know until you told me. And it tore me up.
She knew, didn't she?
Not at first.
When she found out, did she tell you? Did she tell you?
Was she the kind of person to hurt anyone that way?
You were living a lie, a rotten, stinking...
She lived in hell. A hell like neither one of us knew because she wouldn't let us know. She tried to spare us that. Listen to me. What happened with us just happened. There didn't seem to be any way either one of us could control it. But then she told me it had to stop. That there was another man. Someone she loved very deeply. in a different way. Someone she didn't want to hurt.
You think that's what I want to hear from you? You think that's going to make me forgive either one of you?
I don't know about forgiving, but you taught me about truth. You've dedicated your whole life to it, haven't you? You can face it now. The truth is, she didn't know who I was until I told her. Until I bragged about my father being pretty big in her field himself. Told her he was Chris Bain. And that's when she got the place on the beach. So she could be alone to think. Do you realize what she had to be thinking, Dad? That had to be like broken glass inside her. There's another truth, Dad. I took Maggie to the island that day on the boat. But I didn't kill her.
I know that, Greg. Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, Mike, I've got news for you. There's no way you can hold that boy.
You heard the evidence, Ace.
What evidence? Circumstantial, fragmentary.
That's not what you were saying a little while ago.
You ever made a mistake, Mike?
Yeah, sure, a lot of them. And for what it's worth, I hope we've all made one about Greg. But it doesn't look that way right now.
It will when I finish. I don't care how many lawyers I have to hire, how many IOUs I have to call in, how many doors I have to knock down to collect. I put them in here, I'll get them out.
You gonna book him now?
Why?
Just thinking. Booking slip's like a tattoo. Stays with you no matter how things turn out.
You think things are going to turn out different, too?
Well, according to Chris Bain, they are. And up until now, he's been a regular walking oracle, hasn't he?
You don't make that sound like a compliment, buddy boy.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
All right. Turns us on to the beach house, right?
Right.
And the boat. And Maggie Ames's column. And her calendar.
So?
Well, I don't know. It was you that was telling me those things. Maybe I believe they were facts. But him, Chris Bain, I don't know,
Now,
Mike.
wait a minute,
I don't
buddy
know.
boy. Do you know what you're saying?
All I'm saying is we never found the two kids he says saw the boat, and I looked all over that area.
Well, it's not the first time he's had a head start on this department.
Mike, it's like you said. This is not his beat. And he's not doing it for his paper. And you can't tell me you buy his story about a couple of lunches Maggie Ames turned down without pursuing it further. Unless he was a good friend. Mike, tell me I'm wrong, I'll shut up.
Now, you listen to me. If you ever back off because of something personal, I'll stuff your head in your pocket. Now, things have been bothering me, too.
The guy in the alley?
Mm-hmm. He tells you never met Maggie Ames, and yet he ends up stiff with a medal that she bought for the kid.
Well, I figure what he didn't tell me, he told somebody else.
Blackmail.
Yeah.
But who is that somebody else? It isn't the kid who carries a spear in Othello. What could he cough up?
Unless...
You're right. Unless that somebody else he met. That somebody else that he saw through a telescope was Chris.
Yeah.
Well, that's one lousy thing to say about a guy that you've known for half your life.
Michael, you're just reading the cards the way they fall, that's all.
You're right. All right. Let's check 2 more cards, shall we?
When Chris Bain called us in Belvedere.
I guess we better find out how he got that number. See if it's listed.
It's not.
You check that out, too.
Private line installed to Maggie Ames 10 days ago. I don't see how he could have gotten it.
No, sir, I didn't let Mr. Bain into this apartment. I mean, why would I? He has his own key.
I know.
It's right this way, sir. Did I do something wrong?
No.
I mean, nobody told me what to do about anybody.
I know.
who has
Just
his
let
own
us
key.
in, please.
You got it made, old bro?
Everything but the why.
I haven't got that myself. I can tell you I loved her. I can tell you I found out she was seeing somebody else. I can tell you I was half out of my head. Drank too many martinis, and when I saw her step off that boat, But all that doesn't make motive, does it, Mike? Not to a man who considers himself rational. I didn't know it was Greg, and she didn't know it was my son. It was all a terrible...
Let's go downtown, Ace.
You got enough to let the boy go. I suppose, Mike, you know, I also killed that little hustler with his gun.
What are you going to buy with that?
Time. My son goes free. I buy enough time to get lost.
There's only one way you can do it. Squeeze the trigger.
Twice.
Just a few hours, Mike.
Sorry, Ace. Like I've always told you. No exclusives. Greg was good, huh?
He was great, really great. Play really works too, doesn't it?
I guess.
You guess? What do you mean you guess? 16th century play that comes to life like that with such contemporary values? A theme that still holds up?
Holds up? I'll tell you what holds up. A.B.'s Irish Rose. Now
A.B.'s Irish Rose? How
That's
can
right.
you even compare those two plays?
Well, they're both plays, aren't they?
Yeah.
They both have actors, don't they?
You're putting me on.
No, I'm
You
not.
are putting me on.
Whisper from the dead and buried.
What?
Oh, nothing, nothing. Come on, I'll buy you a chili dog, huh?
A chili dog?
That's right, a chili dog. Everybody goes for a snack after the theater. Tradition.
I mean, that's gotta be jive.
No, that's what I said, but my old man swears it's true.
And how long your old man been wearing this uniform?
He had over a year in the day I was born.
Well, I guess he's seen it then. Hey, I meant to ask you sometime. How come he never made the Bureau?
They offered him to transfer into robbery about 5 years ago. I could have sworn he was going to make the move, but I guess he just likes it here on the
211
streets.
in progress in Market at 19th and Terraville. Units to respond.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Repeat, 211 in progress in Market at 19th and Terraville.
3 Charles 2 responding.
Drop the gun! Put your hands on your heads! Hold!
Charles 2 to headquarters.
Come in, 3, Charles 2.
Ambulance at the 211 19th and Terraville. 2 suspects shot. 1 male Caucasian escaped. Driving a light blue late model 4-door sedan. Traveling east on Terraville. License number not known.
Joe. Hey, Joe. Yeah, hold it. Hey, Joe, come on. Yeah. Move it. I'll be right there. Now. All yours, buddy. I didn't know you were in such bad shape.
Maybe you better tell me what kind of shape you're in.
What?
There's a 211 pursuit in progress. I'll drive.
What do you mean you'll drive? What you think I'm drunk or something? What is this? What is it? You want me to walk a straight line for you?
We'll talk about it later.
No, we'll talk about it now.
There's a burglary suspect headed east on Terraville.
All right, we'll talk about it later. But I'm driving. Come on. Told you I was all right. Get off my back, will you, good buddy?
3 Charles 2 still in pursuit. Closing at Terraville and 34th.
That's Corky.
Yeah.
What's he got?
Armed robbery at a market on 19th. He dropped 2, 1 got away. Male Caucasian.
And what?
Light blue sedan. Late model.
There it is.
It couldn't be. They're only at 34th. Holy cow, Joe, you almost hit that guy.
1973 Ford Light Blue. 764 IWJ. Call that in.
Oh, I'm sorry, officer. I guess I shaved that red light a little too thin.
All right, get your hands up there.
Take it
Put your
easy.
feet apart. Water!
Hey, take it easy.
Yeah, go. Joe!
Who are you?
Joe.
He died on the way here.
I'm sorry. You want to tell me what happened?
Oh, it was this car that went to a red light. We took off after him because we thought he was a suspect in that market holdup, and we stopped him, and Mel was on the radio, and I went up front to check him out, and he jumped out of the car. I shook him down, and he took a swing at me. So I backed up to get my gun. He went for me, he grabbed it, and he killed him. He shot him.
Was it your gun?
Yeah, I had a hold of him, and the gun fell to the ground, and then when I went down to get it, he dropped me, and then he took off.
I'll need a description of the man, the car,
Corky.
and the license number if you got it.
Corky, I gotta talk to you for a second. Corky. It's not your father.
He's dead.
I'm gonna stay with Corky.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
Look, we were standing right over there.
It was police brutality.
By the awning.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Listen, it was just like we told you. The guy stepped out of the car, and the cop stops pushing him and shoving him and hitting him for no reason.
The guy didn't do anything, huh?
Sure he did. He pushed him back. A man don't stand there and take that kind of thing from anybody.
That's it? Okay, thank you very much.
You think I'm lying?
No, I didn't say that, man.
You're thinking it. Oh, okay, man, truth. We don't know what happened. There's only 3 people to do it, and one of them's dead. All we know is what we saw, and that's what we told you.
Police brutality, man.
Shut up, Toomey. The man don't even know what that means. Listen, you want to talk to me again? You got my number.
I got something here. The make on the car Dad called in while they're in pursuit. 764 IWJ. DMV says it's registered to a Frank Graves, male Caucasian, 31 years old, 5'9", 160, black hair, brown eyes. Present address, 4025 West 76th Street. Computer readout says no warrants, no wants. But there's a record, a column and a half of juvenile offenses, including a stretching Q for grand theft auto. Been out 3 years.
Sit down, Corky. You get out an APB?
Yeah.
How about the market? Is there anything to connect him?
Not yet. Mike.
No. Not at all. I don't want you on this case. You're too involved. You're too emotionally upset. Besides, there isn't anything you can do that we're not doing already. Now, don't you give me that look. Believe me, I want to catch this man just as much as you do.
No, you don't.
Corky!
Corky, when you got a chance, I'd like to talk to you. You think he's gonna be all right?
Yeah, he wants to be in on the case. He wants to charge out and get himself shot so that someone will have to tell Nina she lost 2 men in 1 day. All right. What did you get?
I've got 2 eyewitnesses.
What did they see?
Police brutality.
Oh, come on now. Joe Landers? Look, he may be a little hard-nosed, but he never manhandled anybody. I don't buy that. All right, did they see the gun go off?
Not who was holding it, no.
You're not really thinking it was Joe Landers, are you?
Well, I'm thinking if they were lying, they could have gone all the way. They could have said Landers was holding it. They didn't.
Let me have a look. There's a tear sheet on the desk. Looks like the guy's name we're after is Frank Graves. He's got a record. Why don't you get a complete rundown on him from his probation office?
Right. Hey, where you going?
Joe Landers.
Lieutenant, sir. My notebook.
Maybe I ought to put you in charge of lost and found.
Lost and found.
Feeling a little shaky still. Well?
No, no thanks. Not for me.
Iron Mike, huh? Always a cop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I guess that's why you're a lieutenant and clowns like me are out walking the streets, huh? Thought you'd be out shaking a few doorknobs and looking under rocks for that guy.
Steve came up with 2 witnesses.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. What do they say?
Well, they said that this guy opened the door, came out, and you slapped him against the car.
That's a lie. I turned him around to the car, he turned around, he hit me, he took my gun, and he shot Mel.
Your holster was unsnapped?
Yeah, sure it was unsnapped. Thought he was a suspect who'd been shooting at Corky and Saunders.
Okay. Okay, so he hit you.
That's right, I got hit right in the head here. You want to feel the bump?
Come on, Joe. You know I have to ask these questions.
Because of a couple of kids who probably need to wear glasses.
Because it's my job.
It doesn't exactly seem like a job to me today.
Look, I'm just trying to set the record straight.
Well, let me help you set something else straight. I just saw my best friend shot to death in the street. I just spent an hour trying to explain it to his son. And now I gotta go face his widow. Now, maybe you can handle all that like it was just routine, but I can't. So get off my back, will you, good buddy?
We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, anytime.
Are you sure you're all right?
What's that supposed to mean?
It means I could drive you home.
Thank you for your concern, but I can manage. Just get off the stick and find the guy who killed my partner.
.27 is here. 4025 must be down here somewhere. There it is, right there. Keep your eyes open. Mrs. Graves?
Yes?
Lieutenant Stone, San Francisco Police Department.
The other policeman already searched. If you want to search too, go ahead.
I got it, Mike.
Inspector Keller.
Mrs. Graves?
He's not there.
You said the other policeman already searched. Was he a young man, tall, sandy hair?
Oh, no, he was closer to your age. He had kind of silvery hair, and I think he had blue eyes. He wasn't wearing a uniform either, but he had a badge. I told him everything I know.
Forgive me for asking, but would you mind going over it again for me? Please.
I know that he didn't do any of the things that other man said he did. He didn't kill anybody, not any policeman, no one. I mean, why would he do something like that? He's got a good job. He's not in any trouble. We're about...
That's why we're investigating.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't know anything else. He hasn't called me. I have no idea where he is. He just left and didn't tell me where he was going.
Excuse me. Thank you, ma'am.
If your husband happens to call, well, it would be better for him if he got in contact with me first. Just in case you need anything.
Well, if he hasn't talked to her yet, he will soon.
Now, what'd you find up there, a crystal ball?
No, just the house shows a lot of care. His wife's pregnant?
All right, Sherlock, we'll stake it out. But I'll bet if he contacts her, we won't hear about it.
Hey, what about Corky coming over here like that, huh? You're really gonna have to sit on
It
him.
wasn't Corky. It was Joe Landers.
What did he want?
I don't know. But the way I left him, I'm not too sure he knows either right now.
Nina? Can I come up? I came by earlier, you know, and,
I was at the morgue.
Nina, you didn't have to do that.
I did have to. It's the only way I could convince myself it was true. What happened, Joe?
I don't know. It sounded like a nightmare. Everything seemed to happen in slow motion. Guy got the gun, and gun went off, and Nina, there was nothing that I could have done, you know.
Can I get you something? Drink, maybe?
Well, no, I'm fine.
You had enough already?
What?
When did you have the first one, Joe? The first drink of the day.
What are you talking about?
Well, when was it? After Mel was killed or before?
Oh, no, Nina, no. You know what Mel meant to me.
Don't give me that brother speech. Don't do it, Joe. I got that for too many years from Mel about you. Oh, Nina, Joe's just got problems. I mean, he'll be all right. I can't turn the guy in after 13 years of living with him. He's a friend, a brother. Well, I don't want to hear that from you, Joe. Because you see, Mel wasn't my make-believe brother. He was my husband. And he was my life. And now he's dead. And all I want to hear from you is the answer to one question. Were you drunk?
No, I was not drunk. And I would have thought that Mel would have told you. I mean, he'd been helping me so much. I've been dry for almost a month, Nina.
I want to believe that, Joe. I mean, I really want to believe that. Because if I found out that you were lying to me now, if I found out that Mel was dead because you were out of control, because you were not protecting him the way he always protected you, I would... Oh, Joe.
Nina, that's the way it happened. You can believe that.
Oh, Joe. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. You know, I loved him too. And I know that it doesn't do any good to say this now, but God, I wish it had been me.
Oh, maybe you ought to stay here, Joe. Maybe neither one of us should be by ourselves right now.
I thought that Corky was coming over.
Yeah, he is. He's on his way.
You got him, okay? I got something I gotta do.
Hello?
Helen?
Frankie. Oh, sweetheart, where are you? What happened? Listen, are you okay?
One thing at a time. Have the police been there?
They said that you killed a policeman.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't.
Frankie, just listen to me, all right? You've got to go to the police station and give yourself up, all right? Now, the man left a card here with a number on it, and he said...
No, baby, I can't. It's my word against the cops, and the way that guy came down on me, I'm a dead man.
Frankie? Frankie?
David 19 to headquarters.
Repeat, this is 3 David 19 to headquarters. We have a 1030 here in the Mission District at Valencia and Clarion. Dark blue sedan, license 764 IWJ. Suspect owner of vehicle escaped on foot, believed to be in area. Request backup units. Repeat, a 1030 in the Mission District at Valencia and Clarion. Dark blue sedan, license number 764 IWJ. Suspect owner of vehicle escaped on foot, believed to be in area. Request backup units.
Mission District. Didn't his probation officer say that Graves' brother hung out there?
Yeah, we didn't have an address.
Well, we've got Valencia and Clarion. Come on, let's move it.
He headed toward that building.
Is he still in there?
I don't know. My partner's watching his front.
Stay here. Keep your eyes open. Where is he?
He's in there, Joe, but I don't think...
That's all right.
Joe.
I think I got him. Watch it.
Steve!
Yeah?
Are you you all right?
Yeah. Where's Graves?
He's gone. That was Joe.
What?
He thought you were Frank Graves.
What are you doing? Are you gonna kill me? What the hell are you doing, man?
Come here.
All right. All right. Didn't know it was you.
Just give me the gun. Give me the gun. Here.
What's going on?
Come on, let's go. And this time I'll drive.
Just trying to help, Mike.
You just tried to kill somebody and it was almost Steve.
I didn't know Steve was in there.
You didn't ask. Gonna be all right inside?
I'm all right now.
You're stinking drunk is what you are.
All right, so I had a couple of belts. Who wouldn't?
Come on.
Oh, excuse me, Lieutenant. Of course I know who wouldn't. All right, I'm not the straight shooter that you are. I'm not Iron Mike, you know, the machine that doesn't make any mistakes. I'm just plain ordinary old Joe Dokes Landis. And I'm loaded. I'm loaded right up to here. Give me my keys. I make mistakes. But that doesn't mean to say I'm what you think I am. I'm no lousy wino. I'm no drunken bum sleeping in a gutter. For your information, good buddy, we both belong to the same department. We wear the same badges. We work the same hours. And I lay my life on the line out there 7 days a week, just like you do.
Listen to me, Joe. Why don't you take the next 2 or 3 days off? It'll do you good. I'll tell him down at the station.
And just what are you going to tell him?
That you're going to take the next 2 or 3 days off.
I'll just bet that's what you're going to tell him. Well, butt out. You got that? Butt out. What I do on my own time is my own business. I don't want your advice, your help, or your missionary zeal. Just butt out.
Got a call. Took Graves' car apart. There's nothing in it now he would have hit when they stopped him.
He could have dumped whatever it was.
Yeah, and he could be high on something too, but his P.O. says no.
Said he went straight ever since he came out?
That's right. And you know what his juvie record was for? Running with a street gang. Whatever they did, he did.
Sounds like you're right back to Joe Landers holding the gun when it went off.
Could be that all he did was run a street light.
Could be. But Mel Schaffer is dead.
Okay. All right, but Graves has got a wife, he's got a family on the way, a good job, money. I mean, why is he going to kill somebody for a traffic ticket?
Head for Potrero.
Why Potrero?
I think it's time we talk to Nina Schaffer.
Was he drunk when it happened?
I don't know that.
But you suspected.
I suspect that Joe Landers may be an alcoholic. Did Mel ever talk to you about it?
Oh, God. Oh, dear
Mom,
God.
sit down.
No, no. No, he stood here and lied to me. And now I'm going to stand here and tell something that should have been told to somebody 5 years ago. Yes, he's an alcoholic.
Mom,
Mel knew it. He wouldn't turn him in. And he covered for him. And he carried him. And now he's dead because of it.
Mrs. Shatner, we don't know that.
Well, I know it.
You said 5 years ago. Wasn't that about the time that... You know, I'm sure it was about the time that Betty walked out on him.
and just about when Dad backed off that detective slot and robbery he was going to take. He did that for Joe. And Joe got him killed.
Now, wait a minute, Corky. Don't hate him. It's a disease. A disease called loneliness. Inspectors 8-1 to headquarters. Anything from that team around the Graves house?
This is headquarters 8-1. Inspectors 24 report that wife of suspect on the move and nearing the Mission District.
Suspect entering the Mission District.
She's going to him, all right. And he's probably with that brother of his, member of the same gang that Graves used to hang out with.
Yeah, Grim Reapers. That's a bad bunch.
Grim Reapers, yeah. And here we are chasing them right back into it.
You're the dude who said he'd never come back, right, Frankie? Everybody comes back. You know why? Because they don't want you out there. They never wanted you out there, Frank.
You shut up, Benny, please, huh?
You thought that they were going to show you the good life. You thought that they meant all that stuff about wanting to help you out, right? Frankie, that company you're working for, do you know the reason that you got that job? You got that job because they need to show somebody that they're do-gooders, that's all. They get big brownie points on the outside in the government by showing them that you're on the payroll. But wait, Frank, wait till you need them. When you really need them to be there. Shut up!
Benny. Oh, Benny. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I don't know, man. I didn't do it. And you know what? The last thing in the world I need is a lecture from my kid brother. I didn't come here for that. You know what I came here for?
A little help, Frank? This is the place.
This is 2-4. The lady's stopping at a building on Lexington and 18th.
Keep her out of there. It could be a powder keg. And get some backup units here to screen off the area.
10-4.
no answer.
Doesn't matter anyway, Frank. You don't need a lawyer. You need this.
I told you to put that thing away.
And you also told me you were going to be king of the hill out there, too, Frank. All you needed was that big break they gave you.
That building, Mike.
All right, I'll get the back.
I didn't have to call you, did I?
No, but I wish you had. Which room? Now, you said before it had to be a mistake. Well, I'm beginning to think you're right. So don't you let another one happen now, because the next man to get killed could be your husband.
Number 7.
7.
All that time, Frankie. All that work, and where are you? You're right back down here where you started from. You want to call somebody, Frank? Why don't you call that company you work for? Tell them what happened. Explain the situation. You think they're going to come down here and stand by you?
Penny, your needle's stuck.
Tell me, Frank, am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Who is it?
Police, open the door.
You gonna run again, Frank?
That's not the answer. That's never the answer.
Coming, just a second.
Graves, you just hold it right here.
Is that him?
Yes.
Graves?
Yeah, that's him. This is his wife. Mrs. Graves is Officer Schaffer.
Schaffer?
Here you go.
Mrs. Graves?
Excuse us one moment, please.
Frank, tell me exactly what happened after you pushed him.
Well, he reached for his gun, and I thought he was going to shoot me. And I grabbed his arm, and all I wanted to do was keep him from pointing that gun at me. And then it went off.
At what point did you gain possession of the gun?
I never touched that gun. Never. It just went off. And the officer fell, and the gun dropped, and I hit him. And then I ran.
Why did you run?
Oh, it was my word against his. Who'd I think you'd believe? Me or him?
Okay, Frank. I guess you'd like to talk to your wife for a moment? Go ahead. And take it easy. Art, stay with him.
How do you read him, Mike?
Well, he's telling the same story those kids told.
And there are 2 of them, right? So that makes the odds 3 to 1 that Joe Landers is lying.
Maybe an honest mistake.
What about the shots he took at me?
Well, he thought you were Graves.
That's right.
Do you know what you're accusing him of?
Drunk on duty, manslaughter, obstructing justice.
And attempted murder.
But what else was Landers doing there if it wasn't to get hold of Graves before we did? I mean, I'm not saying he's a killer, Mike, but he's like you said, he's sick.
All right, he's sick. But he's alive. My father's dead. Now, look, I've been doing some checking on my own, and I found out that Joe Landers has had more than his share of sick calls.
Porky.
And knowing how close he and my father were, there's no telling how many others that nobody else knew about.
Porky, now listen to me. This is no courtroom in here. Okay, bring him in. Wait a minute. Okay, Mike. You're sure?
Yeah.
Why don't you go home now? I don't want you to get in the habit of hanging around police stations.
Oh, Frankie.
You don't meet a very nice class of people.
What's going to happen to him?
Well, my personal opinion is that your husband's telling the truth. And that he's just as much a victim as that officer who was killed.
Thank you.
Wait a minute now. Remember, I said that was my personal opinion.
I know. I don't happen to agree with what Frankie said about the class of people you meet here. Thank you.
Joe?
He's a little taller than you with silver hair. It's about 15 minutes ago. Great, thank you very much. You got anything?
No.
All right, why don't you go up to Market and I'll head south.
Howdy, friend.
Get away from me.
Hey, no, he wants a little drinky, huh? There's plenty for all of us.
Get away from me. I'll run you in for vagrancy. Get away from me.
Come on.
Get up. Get over against that wall and get your hands on that wall and put your feet apart.
What are you talking about? Listen,
Joe! Hiya, Corky. Well, you came just in time, huh? What's the matter, son?
You killed him, didn't you?
What?
My father, you killed him.
Who told you a thing like that?
Come on, let's go.
All right, now where are we going?
To see Mike Stone.
Oh, Stone, huh? Is he the one who told you that? Is he the one who told you that I killed Mel?
Come on, Joe. You're going in, even if I have to put the cuffs on.
All right, all right. I'll go in, but I'm gonna walk in. Stone.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, man. Oh, man.
I found him. He hit me with a bottle.
How long ago?
A few minutes. I don't know. I was out.
Let's get that patched up first.
Stone? What are you trying to do to me? Corky. Corky. Wasn't that good? I mean, God help me, son. I mean, I've been doing nothing I could do. I mean, there was nothing I could do. Why did you shoot?
Mike? Why you?
I don't know. Didn't have to be me, I guess. Just somebody besides himself.
Yeah. Still a hell of a thing to wake up to, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know that there are 45,000 other people with the same problem right here in this city? Yeah. 10 million in the country.
10 million?
Mm-hmm.
You said it's a disease of loneliness?
No, I didn't say that. AA said it. I guess they ought to know.
Hey, Steve. Some of the guys going to Lucky's for a few beers. You got anything on?
I don't think tonight, Jeff. Thanks anyway.
Okay. See you later.
I hope you didn't do that for my benefit.
No. But on the other hand, I wouldn't want to end up at Lost and Found either.
Lost and found? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it?
That was pretty bad.
Huh?
That was pretty bad.
Just because you didn't say it.
Oh, that's not the reason.
Oh, no, come on.
for me, it's a deal.
Well, that's the best moment in the fourth act.
Third act.
Now, wait a minute, Mike. I practically had to drag you here. Now you tell me after all these years you're an opera buff?
Well, I guess there's some things that people don't know about me.
I guess I should try to find out.
Pardon me, sir. Were you in seat L22?
Yes, I was.
Well, there's a phone call for you from the police department. You can get it on that phone if you'd like.
Never fails. Lieutenant Stone. It's for you.
Sorry, old habits. I left word, too. Inspector Martin. Yes, Dave. Well, what's the address? Right. All right, I'll be there in about 10 minutes. It's my cat burglar case. We'll get him this time. I'll get a cab.
No, not at all. I'll take you. Come on. Let's get our kids.
Lieutenant, you transfer over from burglary?
No, busman's holiday. Inspector Martin's in charge of this one.
Irene Martin, burglary.
Yes, ma'am. These are the residents, Mr. and Mrs. Davis.
How do you do?
Can you give us a rundown on what happened?
Well, we've already told the officer here. We got back early from the theater, and when my wife went to put her jewelry in the desk safe, it was open, cleaned up.
Can you describe what's missing?
Well, I had about $1,000, and my wife had some other jewelry. We'll have to check the list in the safe deposit box at the bank to be positive.
Well, I'd appreciate it if you could get that information to us as soon as you can.
Sure.
No service entrance?
No, the building has 24-hour security, and there's no way in from the street.
Okay, finish up your report and get a copy to me as soon as you can in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Door's been jimmied, right?
Mm-hmm. Your man looks like a real pro, hardly a scratch.
Well, he's a pro, all right. My cat never leaves any fingerprints. Let's see, about 10 stories down and 2 floors up. And there's no fire escape on this side of the building.
Well, what does he do? Use a helicopter?
Almost. How would you like to take a little stroll under the stars?
On the roof?
Mm-hmm.
This is our date. Let me use your flashlight, will you?
Mike, that's where he must have started, up there, and rappelled down to this roof here. And the study windows are about here somewhere. Now, I'll bet he found a way to anchor a wire or a rope to these pipes right here. And then pull the wire across through here. See, now, come here. Now, he had the wire on the pipes, and then he went across the top. I guess I better stop reading those old Wonder Woman comics. I ought to know that I can't see in the dark.
Sure.
I must look over those study windows. Look, Mike, right here. This is where he went over. Well, Birdman, that's what he is. Comes and goes like a phantom. He never leaves me a single thing to go on.
You sound like a fan.
Maybe I am. And sooner or later, he's going to make a mistake. Oh, Mike, I'm sorry about the opera, but, well, I'm going to be stuck here most of the night.
We're together, aren't we? Under the stars.
And you're some date, Lieutenant.
Here you go, sunshine.
Not so loud, you awake, Liam.
I told you not to go out with cops. They keep you out late.
That's what I keep telling all your girlfriends.
I'm up late, but I'm not out.
Oh, I hope your tip is as hot as this coffee. So far, it's been a bust.
You want to call it quits?
No, sir. No, sirree. I want old Cora more than I want my beauty sleep, I'll tell you that. You saw the mutilated body, didn't you?
Yeah. Took him 3 hours to die.
Listen, are you sure that Rust bucket is the only one shipping out today?
Yeah. The guy I talked to said he's got forged maritime papers.
Oh, boy, there ought to be a law against stakeouts, especially at the break of dawn. There he is. Oh, Cora. All right, hold it, O'Cora.
Just a born show-off, Mike.
Get up there.
Oh, you haven't made that for a long time.
Well, it's too much trouble for one.
Oh. Here, wait a minute. Here, put this ice on it.
No, it's okay.
Oh, come on.
I'm all right. It's
Put the ice on it.
okay. Put the ice on it.
Dad, what's the matter with you? We've cooked special dinners before. I've never seen you so nervous.
Well, this one's different. Irene is kind of, well...
She's more than a friend, I know.
Well, she's not like your mother, but... Well, she's... pretty special.
Well, I figured as much. When you don't talk a lot about a woman, you think a lot of her.
You know, your mother taught me to make this sauce the first year we were married. I feel kind of funny making it for Irene. Dumb, huh?
Look, you can't be a bachelor forever.
I've always had you.
Oh, well, that's not quite the same thing, and you know it. But I'll tell you something. I'm really glad you have Irene now.
Hi. Hi. Did you have a nice evening?
Very.
Jeannie gave it her best shot. She brought out all the antiques. Silver, china, crystal, everything.
I noticed. I thought it was supposed to be a casual dinner at home. Why all the fuss?
Well, you were the guest, and...
Mike. Oh, what's going on?
Irene, there are some things I'm not very good at.
Name one.
Proposing. Well?
Well, I'd like to have some time. I'd like to think about it.
Oh, sure. Take all the time you want.
Yes.
Well, I guess I can't say that you kept me dangling on a string, can I?
No. And there's something else you don't do very well.
What's that?
Propose and drive at the same time. That's my house back there. You and something else.
I talked to Jeannie. She said you were here. Your cat burglar struck again. This time he killed somebody.
Looks like it could have been a full magnum load.
I don't know why they pay me when they have you around, Lieutenant.
Never mind, all
Do you
right.
want to run the autopsy, too?
That's enough. How long has she been dead?
Oh, 2.5 hours.
There we go. Yeah, lady's name was Naomi Greenwood, and that's her sister there, Mrs. Bell.
I know
talked
how
to neighbors,
difficult
the
this
people
is for
across
you,
the
Mrs.
hall
Bell,
didn't hear
but
anything.
do you have any idea where her husband might be reached?
Jerome is in Los Angeles at a sales meeting, and he usually stays at the Bel Air Hotel. I tried calling him earlier, but he wasn't in.
Steve, you see if you can reach him.
Oh, you can use the phone in my apartment.
Well, what have you got?
Not much. Her jewelry box has been rifled. And Mrs. Bell doesn't know what her sister kept in the apartment.
Well, it looks like Mrs. Greenwood went to the mayor's charity ball tonight, came home early, and your cat burglar shot her.
How did you know about the ball?
There was a ticket stub in her purse. Oh, and her wallet is missing. What's wrong?
Well, my cat burglar wouldn't take a wallet.
Well, everything else checks out. Empty apartment, marks on the roof, jimmied window, no clues. Exact M.O.
I know, but he's never killed anybody before. I just don't believe he would.
Well, maybe he was never interrupted before.
Yeah, there's no answer in the Greenwood's room, so I left a message. What's wrong here?
We're just having a slight difference of opinion. I know my man. He's no killer.
There has to be a first time,
Mike,
right?
it's not him. There's just too much here that's wrong.
Like what?
Well, I don't know yet.
Neither do I yet. So why don't you take care of the robbery, and Steve and I will follow up on homicide. All right?
All right. Mr. Greenwood is on his way here from L.A. We couldn't reach him, but we'll question him as soon as he gets in.
Yeah, come in.
You wanted to see me?
All right, Mike, sit down. Coffee?
No, thanks.
On the Greenwood murder, I think you need a little more help, Mike. Looks like the murderer is the same cat burglar that Martin's been working on. And since she knows more about him than anyone else, I want you two to work together on it.
Well, I have a partner, and we're working on a pretty tough case right now.
Oh, Keller can wrap up the details on the Okura case, and when he's done, he can link up with you again. Until then, you two are a pair.
must pay $1,000 a month for this address.
Yeah. Didn't buy him much security, did it?
You don't seem to be very happy that we're working together.
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with you, Irene. It's the Okora case. Steve and I sweated on that one. There's a lot more work involved before we can put him away.
Okay, I know it's an important case for you, but my cat burglar is just as important to me, and I've worked as hard and as many long hours on it.
Is that why you asked him for a transfer?
I didn't ask him. He asked me. Mike, look, I know you're used to working with Steve. And if you'd rather go back with him on the case...
No, wait a minute. We have our orders, haven't we?
Is it because we know each other so well? Sometimes people can't see each other at night and work well together all day. It's like being double married.
We're not married yet, are we?
I just spoke to her yesterday morning. She told me that she was going to the ball. She enjoyed things like that, you know.
Mr. Greenwood, I'm terribly sorry, but we're going to have to ask you some more questions.
Go on.
Do you know of anyone who had a grudge against your wife?
Of course not. That sort of thing doesn't happen anymore, does it?
You'd be surprised. Was your wife seeing anybody else?
No. Why do you ask that?
Well, most murders are committed by someone the victim knew.
But I was told it was a cat burglar.
You were told right. He is the most likely suspect. Irene?
Have you any idea what's missing?
I haven't had much time to think about that sort of thing. But our insurance man has a complete list.
Well, Mr. Greenwood, when you check later, would you let us know if there's anything else missing besides the jewelry?
Excuse me, that phone has been ringing ever since I got in. Hello? Yes. Yes, I would like for you and Ted to help with the funeral. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. Thanks, I appreciate that, Judy.
I think that'll be all for now.
Thank you.
A multi-million-dollar crime lab, and all they can tell us is 32 slugged from an automatic with rifling to the left.
No, we found out something else, too. Here. We found out that your cat burglar didn't kill anybody else with that gun, especially not in the Bay Area. Here, try one of these. They're not too hot. They're really good.
I don't think we're looking for the same man.
You know, you said that.
Mike, I love you, but I think you're wrong. It's the little things. They don't fit. And Mrs. Greenwood's wallet, chicken feed to him, and murder is stupid. My man is clever and too sophisticated.
You know, you actually admire him?
Look, I've been working on this case for 3 solid months. I couldn't know him better if I lived with him.
I could be jealous if I were the jealous type. Irene.
Oh, thank you.
Your clever, sophisticated cat burglar looks like a murderer to me, and I am going to get him. That's why I need all your stakeout teams pulled off.
But you can't. I've had those men out there every night for 2 weeks in the best apartment houses, penthouse roofs.
Well, I need them reassigned to check out all the pawn shops and the fences.
He never fences or pawns any of the jewelry he's ever stolen. At least not in the same town. It's not his pattern.
He's already broken his pattern by killing someone. Now, I want all those men reassigned now.
All right. I'll get them on it.
Yeah, you holding out on me, huh?
And what do you mean by that?
What do I mean by that? I just talked to Jeannie on the telephone. How come I gotta hear from her that you two were tying a little knot?
I have to see how things work out. If you'll excuse me, I have to notify some stakeout teams they have new assignments.
Well, if you were gonna turn in your credentials as a card-carrying bachelor, I couldn't think of a better lady to do it with.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong?
Being a bachelor all those years, I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for marriage.
Oh, yeah, you're just gonna miss all those nights alone eating meals on the run.
Oh, come on, I didn't mean that. When we're on a date, everything is fine, lovely, beautiful. Once we get in here, I don't know, maybe it's my fault. I just don't know how to handle the situation.
Well, you could learn.
I'm a slow study, remember?
Well, Irene seems to be a very understanding lady. Why don't you talk to her?
Then that's a good idea. I'll do just that. Do you have the report on the Okora case?
Yeah, but I thought you were going to talk to Irene first.
I'm going to work my way up to that this afternoon, but right now I want the file on the Okora case. Sir. Why haven't you pulled those teams in?
Because I haven't had time. I've been going over some of this new information from Chicago and
I
New
just
York.
got through chewing out the fellas for not reporting in.
Mike, listen. Listen, there's a pattern here, a series of unsolved cat burglaries, exactly the way our man works. I want to show...
I am only concerned with one case at the moment, ours, yours and mine. Now let's get on it.
Hollister, this is Inspector Martin. I won't be needing those stakeout teams tonight, but I would like them to start covering all of the pawn shops and known fences in town. Right.
Sure, I was surprised when he brought the stuff in. It's obviously quality. So's this one.
Well, they fit the ID photos the insurance company had of the Greenwoods jewelry, but it doesn't quite tally. There's a man's blue tiger eye ring missing. Did you sell it already?
That stuff wasn't in here an hour before your officers were in here asking about it. You want to see my sales book?
No. Can you describe the man who brought them in?
Of course I can. He goes by here every afternoon. Maybe he kept the ring. I never saw it.
Well, weren't you a little suspicious when what he had was this good?
Inspector, you'd be surprised at the stuff that comes in here. Legitimately.
I want to see the tickets on these.
I got it right here now. I don't know about the name, but the address is phony. Lieutenant, before you jump all over me, I can tell you exactly where you can find this guy.
And where's that?
Where he is every afternoon. The bar down the block.
I know it. I really know it. The only time I find something good. The only time.
How about being a little more specific and telling us where and when you found them, Pinch?
I know it. I was down by the bay. You know, I go down there mornings. I check out the outlet pipes. You know, you find things like pins, watches, you know, stuff.
But this morning, it was different.
Well, I went down there about 10 o'clock. I poked around some, and then I saw this rag, this bundle, and I opened it up, and there they were.
Just the jewelry?
Well, no, there was a wallet there. There was only $8 in it. I took the money, and I threw the wallet away.
What about a man's ring, a blue tiger eye?
Was no ring. I missed something, didn't I? I knew it. I missed something, didn't I?
I'll get a man over to check out the place with Pinch. That ring might still be there.
I knew it.
There's an antique jewelry exhibit in the West Wing. How about it?
Jewelry? I thought we promised each other we wouldn't talk about the case tonight.
Have I even mentioned it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did. Back there in the Egyptian room. That's all you talked about was the tiger eye rings.
I thought I was rather subliminal. Well, let's see. What about medieval weapons?
Oh, look, Irene. My head is full of culture right now, but right here I'm empty. Really empty. So how about going out and getting a nice midnight snack before I take you home?
Huh. Mike, you're going to have to change.
Suppose I don't want to change.
Well, we all change. I hope we never stop.
Well, how about you changing your mind about the cat burglar being a murderer?
Because he's not. Anybody that good doesn't carry a weapon. Besides, if he did get caught, he wouldn't kill anybody.
Well, maybe he panicked when he saw her. He went to Greenwood's desk, opened the drawer, pulled out a gun, and he shot her.
Was that Greenwood's gun?
Could be. He called me just before I left the office. He said he was checking around. He found out the gun was missing from his desk. So he says it's a .32. It's never been fired.
We've been here all this time, and you waited until now to tell me about the gun.
I didn't want to spoil your fun.
No, no, no. You were just waiting for the right moment to prove me wrong. You had to be right, didn't you, Mike?
What are you talking about? Now, you know me better than that. Look, Irene, this is just one case, one little case.
I thought it was our case, Mike, yours and mine. But you never once really listened to my theory, did you? No. You were just determined to prove there was only one way, your own narrow, plodding way.
Plodding?
Is that the way it's going to be
Did
with
you say
us?
I was
You
plodding?
called it, Mike, and you're the boss. At least on this job.
Irene!
I'll call a cab.
You don't have to call a cab.
Thought you had a date tonight.
Couldn't get the Greenwood case off my mind. Thought I'd go over it again.
Well, you could have taken care of it in the morning. What are you doing here at midnight?
That gun was registered to him, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what happened? Have a little fight?
The cat burglar case. You know, Irene is a sharp, efficient, darn good cop. But boy, is she stubborn.
Yeah. Thank God you're so understanding.
Well, at least I know when to back off and take an objective look at a case.
Oh, yeah, just like with that Malaguetti murder, the Curtis case, two classic examples of dead-end leads, and you thought you were right?
I didn't say I was perfect. I'm not. And neither is Irene. Homicide Stone. I got it. That cat burglar again.
We just gotten in from the ballet. And my husband heard a noise up in the bedroom. He went up. There was a shot. And he just fell over. I ran up after him. But the room was dark. I couldn't see the man who shot him.
Excuse me. This is Inspector Martin. She's with the burglary detail. And she works with me.
What have you got?
Same MO as the last time.
But you were sure it was a man?
Oh, yes, definitely. I just got a glimpse of him, but I couldn't give you any idea of his age or height or anything. It all happened so quickly.
Yeah, Mrs. Terrell, I'm really sorry about all these questions. We're almost finished. Just a couple more. Do you keep a lot of money and jewelry here?
No, we keep very little money. We use credit cards. And our business manager pays all the bills by check. We just keep $20 or $30 for small expenditures.
And what about jewelry?
I checked what I had here. I made a list for you. It's mostly costume jewelry. It's not even insured. The diamond ring, of course, is quite valuable. But with little or no light and Ted walking in on him, I'm sure he didn't have time to be selective.
Thank you very much. If we have any more questions, well, we'll get in touch with you.
I can finish up here if you and I want to split.
Here, I think you should have this.
All right.
I'm sorry. I should have tried to reach you, but the phone rang, Steve was there, and we just rolled out like we always do.
I'm used to getting things secondhand. Mrs. Terrell must be very efficient. This list is quite detailed.
Maybe she's a list maker.
Some people are. Oh, Mike, why don't we forget the argument? The hardest thing in the world to say has to be, I'm sorry, it was my fault. I am, and it was.
It takes two to tango and two to argue. Truce.
Truce.
Now, this one would be beautiful on you. Simple lines and a really elegant material. Listen, why don't we just go in and take a look at some of the models?
I'd like to, Jeannie, but not right now. Look, let's have some lunch, because I got to get back to the office.
I'm sorry, did I upset you somehow?
Oh, no, of course not. I'd love to go shopping with you to look for some gowns, but it's just that I've got this case on my mind.
You know, Dad keeps saying the same thing.
You know, working with Mike has made me see some things in both of us that I'm not quite sure I can handle.
Well, you won't normally be working together.
You have to live together. When you come home tired and mad at the world because some old lady had her Social Security check ripped off on her way to the market, or a young kid OD'd and there's not a lot you can do about it, you still have to live together.
So when I hit a core with everything we had on him, he cracked. Then I talked to the DA, and he thinks we got enough to beat him.
Welcome home.
Thank you, sir.
I want you to get on the Greenwood case as fast as you can.
Okay.
Check ballistics for me, will you?
Right.
Come in.
Mike, I think I finally found our man. The overseas reports that I asked for finally came in. A man using the exact M.O. was caught in London in 1969. Every detail was the same. James Gillis. He served a 4-year term and was released on good behavior. Dropped out of sight after that. But he is suspected of being the cat burglar who's pulled dozens of jobs in the biggest cities all over the world. He's a real pro.
Just that one arrest?
That's it.
Well, how'd he get busted?
The owner of the apartment came home early and surprised him burglarizing the place. Gillis gave up without a struggle.
Could be. Look at it. Complete description, photos. That man had to case those apartments. And someone had to see him, a doorman, a maintenance man, somebody.
There's one other angle we ought to check out. Where does he get his target information? Mike, the society columns don't tell you who's going to a charity ball or whatever. They tell you who's been.
Yeah, none of the victims were mentioned in the society column before they were hit. I checked on that.
Say, what's your angle?
Limousine service. All the society people use them. But I can't seem to tie it all in.
Pretty good idea. We'll start right there, Steve. I want you to run this through for a positive ID. Look at the mugshots. He may have changed since 1969.
Anything else?
No. Irene and I will do the footwork.
Yeah, it looks as if it could be Jim Henry. How old did you say this picture was?
1969. How long has this man worked for you?
5 months. I'd have to check it to make sure, but that's pretty close.
Is there anything unusual about him?
Well, he knows cars real well. He's got a lot of class. But in my business, that's not unusual. It's expected.
Well, I have a list of the events that your company's been servicing for the last 3 months. Can you find out if this man Henry worked those nights?
I can't be sure until I check, but yeah, it's more than likely. See, stuff like this I put on my best men, and they're the best. Matter of fact, they're going to work the shift tonight.
All right, drop it.
Police. Set up. I don't work with a gun.
You knew the victims wouldn't be home because you were chauffeuring them to social events.
Would it be asking too much, Lieutenant, to begin your summation? I'm rather tired.
Well, it won't be long. They're pulling your apartment to pieces right now.
So long as they don't steal anything.
Where's the gun?
I told you I don't use a gun. I've never even had one.
Well, what about these? Do you recognize anything in them?
This diamond set isn't bad. It's old insured. Pearl pin is about right. This ring is very low quality.
Is it the blue tiger eye? It's a man's ring. Did you take it for yourself?
My dear lady, have you taken a look at my jewelry? Patek Philippe watch. First quality emerald studs. A discreet diamond ring. Look, I didn't steal this stuff. And I didn't commit murder. There's been enough information printed in the newspapers for anyone to have copied my technique.
Sikolovich, show him our best quality bracelets. Well, I gotta tell you, I don't buy your David Niven for either murder.
Thank you. Well, we're back to scratch, aren't we?
Looks that way.
Yeah, Mike?
Yes, what?
Ballistics just gave out the word the same gun that killed Mrs. Greenwood got Mr. Terrell.
Same gun?
It's an inside job. It's got to be.
Greenwood?
It's his gun. He could read the newspaper, make it look like the cat burglar.
And you couldn't reach him for hours after his wife was killed.
Well, L.A. 60 minutes away. Could have been there and back again.
Okay, but we don't have a motive.
Wait a minute, I've got one. Maybe it's too obvious, but let me try it. See, one wife, one husband are dead. That means it leaves one wife, one husband to carry on.
Well, how did you come by that?
Well, I'd love to say a woman's intuition, but I'd be lying. Remember when we were questioning Greenwood, and he got that telephone call? He mentioned two names, Ted and Judy.
Edward Terrell and his wife, Judith, that's right. Could be. Well, let's talk to Greenwood. Maybe we can break them.
And I'd like another shot at Mrs. Terrell.
You got it. Go ahead and push her hard.
I don't have to explain my movements to you, Lieutenant. I've already explained them.
The hotel said that you checked in on schedule the day your wife was murdered, but we couldn't reach you for hours.
I make a lot of telephone calls in my business, Lieutenant. If you'll check my hotel bill, you will find that I made about 15 long-distance calls that evening. Then I told the switchboard not to put any calls through until after the 11 o'clock sales conference.
Now, let me ask you something else. All your wife's jewelry was found except for a man's tiger eye ring. Was that yours?
Yes, it was. I didn't wear it very often. It wasn't of any great value. I suppose the thief could have thrown it away.
Well, now, that's funny. Because all the expensive stuff was thrown away but that ring.
Well, the hotel record verifies what he said, except 3 of these calls were made to the Terrell's residence.
Yes, that's right. I called Ted.
No, I don't think so. Mr. Terrell was out that evening. We checked on that. I think you probably talked to Mrs. Terrell.
And somewhere in that time, someone took your gun and shot your wife. Now, if it wasn't you...
All right. I should have told you about this before. It's only a suspicion. I don't know.
I think you and Mrs. Terrell were seeing each other, that one of you couldn't get out of your marriage. Now, how's that for openers?
It's close enough. She gave me the tiger eye ring, and she was going to get a divorce. My wife began to be suspicious about what was going on, and she wouldn't have it. I wanted to believe that she had been killed by the thief. And then Judy began to be insistent about my marrying her as soon as her divorce came through. And finally I said no. Then Ted was killed. It had to be Judy.
Sir, Irene went to question her, and I told her to push her. How did she get into the apartment?
She had a key. We met there sometimes.
It's busy. You keep trying. Bring him down to headquarters.
Bye. I'm sorry. You were saying something about having good news?
Yes, I think we found your ring. That's the, let's see, the blue tiger eye ring, isn't it?
No, my ring is the diamond cocktail ring.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. The blue tiger eye is a man's ring. Well, here's your list. It's very detailed. You must have been quite calm when you made this out with your husband lying dead upstairs.
Inspector, I had to do something to stay calm so I could help the police. I don't see what this has to do with finding my jewelry.
Well, I want to be absolutely sure about this tally. I understand that you keep most of your things in the security vault downstairs in the manager's office. Let's go down there, shall we?
All right. I'll get the key. I should make you get a search warrant for this.
Well, I can have one brought over in a half an hour.
That won't be necessary. Both the missing rings will be there.
You couldn't throw away the diamond ring. It was too expensive. And the tiger eye...
Had sentimental value. Shall we go? Slide in over behind the wheel. Hurry up! Go.
Are you all right?
What took you so long? Heroes are supposed to arrive on time.
Well, maybe I'm not the hero type.
Well, I'll make an exception.
This is your collar, isn't it?
You bet it is.
No. Everyone is fine. No one was hurt.
How about you?
Not a scratch.
Okay. Listen, I've got some steaks thawed. Why don't you bring Irene home for dinner?
Well, you know, I think she's busy tonight. Maybe some other night. I'll be home in about an hour.
About an hour. See you then.
Goodbye.
Arrest reports. Everything's tied up nice and neat. Judith Terrell gave us a complete confession.
Well, then that makes us both right, doesn't it? Judith confessed, and your cat burglar was charged with theft.
You've always called him my cat burglar. Jealous? Not jealous.
I just don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
Me either.
You too?
Well, you said it once. We're a couple of old workhorses. And we both kind of set and stubborn in our ways. Trouble is, I respect you and I love you. But I'm not one bit sure I can live with you.
I feel the same way. And I don't want to lose you. Too selfish?
No, it's just about right. Because I don't want to lose you either. That's what friends are for. Okay.
Okay, friend.